Spirit lead, truth unfold. Sometimes God's wisdom is
with your host, Alan B. Conley.
Unconventional.
Welcome to the place where the unconventional happens. I'm your host, Alan B. Connolly, and you're tuned in to another episode of Unconventional. Have you ever wondered if people were the cause of you not making it forward in your destiny? Well, today we're going to talk about this subject. They are not the problem. Many times in life, we have expectations of people and things, but we find out that our frustrations come from having these expectations in people to do something that they are incapable of doing. And today we have some unconventional artists that's going to help set the tone for this conversation. We have some twins that are going to sing a secular song. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Jasper and Jacoby Mitchell.
Although this is my first night with you, I'm looking for a sign that I could make you mine. And I know that you wanna take things slow, and that's alright with me. You know I don't wanna rush things. Baby, street lights been on all night. No one to call, our phones have died. We don't need that light, we've got our right here in the stars. And if you close your eyes, baby, you realize I'm by your side till the morning light. Is beautiful but unpredictable. Street lights been on all night. No one to call, our phones have died. We don't need that light, we've got ours right here in the stars. If you close your eyes, baby, you will realize that I'm by your side. Till the morning light. Street lights been on all night. No one to call, nobody at all. We don't need that light, we got ours right here in the stars. If you close your eyes, baby, close your eyes, baby, you will realize I'm by your side till the morning light. Till the morning light. Till the morning light. Till the morning light. Oh, morning light. Till the morning light. Till the morning light. Oh, till the morning light.
I love young people, and those young men have set the stage for us to talk about this subject. They are not the problem. I'll never forget this one evening where we took some young people bowling. And what we thought was going to be a wonderful occasion for these young people to engage in this fun sport called bowling, it ended up being an educational moment for me. I'll never forget seeing these young people running around the bowling alley, running down the aisle on the bowling alley, chasing the bowling balls. And I lost it for a second. And I remember asking the young people, I said, you all have never been anywhere. You're acting like you've never been anywhere. And one of the young ladies, she looked at me and she said, we haven't. I learned an interesting lesson in that moment. Sometimes we can be frustrated because we're expecting people to behave in a manner that we think that they should. But I want to tell you, most of our frustrations in life will come from having false expectations of people, places, and things. It's not fair for us to expect people to behave a certain way when they've never been exposed to that which we thought they were exposed to. In that moment, these young people, they let me know that there's some theology that we may have to rethink, some theology in the church, because many of us have made this mistake over the years. We've told people that their blessing is going to come to them. We've told people that they could name it and claim it. We told people that they could call it and haul it in. But I want to tell you that that's not the way God operates. Most of the things that God has in store for us, it was already prepared even before the foundation of the world. And here it is, we're waiting on God, and God is saying, I'm waiting on you. And that's why I want to talk about a particular story in the Bible where there is a man who's at a pool called Bethesda. And at the pool of Bethesda, he's surrounded by people who are sick, people who are blind, people who are lame. And he's been there for 37 years. But what I found out to be interesting about this man is that he was there around people who were just like him. I want to tell someone who's watching on tonight, you got to be careful of your surroundings because familiarity is the breeding ground for complacency. And some of us have become stagnant in life because we don't want to break away from that which we're familiar with. This man was around people who were just like him, people who were looking and hoping that somebody was going to come and maybe bless them and heal them. We found this out to be true because when Jesus encountered this man, he asked him one simple question. He says, do you want to get well? This is a question that I have for you who are watching. Someone who's sick right now, someone who's wrestling with this thought of or a bad report that the doctor has given you. Someone who's struggling with life and you're wondering how you're going to make it because right now things just don't look good. I want to tell you, my friends, that God does not want you to get complacent with where you are, nor does he want you to become dependent upon someone else for the blessing that he has in store for you. You see, Jesus, when he asked this man, do you want to get well? It's really a rhetorical question. We find this out because in his response, he says, yes. He says, but when the time is ready for me to get into the waters, there's no one to put me in the pool. Well, after examining the text, after finding out that everyone around this man is just like him, my question is, who's going to put him in the pool? Is he waiting on a blind man to put him in the pool? Is he waiting on a lame man to put him in the pool? Is he waiting on another paralytic to put him in the pool? That's why Jesus asked this question. Do you want to get well? If you really wanted to get well, you wouldn't be depending upon people who need help themselves. And I want to tell someone that's watching right now, you're looking for someone to help you, somebody to get you out of that dilemma, and they need someone to get them out of that dilemma themselves. My brothers and sisters, I hope you can get to the place where you're not depending upon people, upon places and things, but you're ultimately depending upon your God. Jesus, after he asks this man, does he want to be well? Does he want to be made whole? He gives him this response, but Jesus, he tells him, he says, well, simply get up, pick up your bed and walk. The Bible says that immediately after Jesus shared those words with that man was healed. Someone who's watching right now, you should understand that it doesn't take God long to do something in our lives. This man had been waiting for 37 years for his breakthrough. You may have been waiting for 5 days, but however long you've been waiting, God is able to do it immediately. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next year, but God is able to do something in your life right this moment. And I believe, because I got crazy faith, that someone is watching and God is blessing you right now. Right now, chains of bondage are falling off of you. Right now, young people who you've been praying for, they're being blessed right now. Right now, someone who's in need of a financial breakthrough, God is making a way for that blessing to find you right where you are. But this is the key in this text. After Jesus tells him those words, it doesn't mean anything if he doesn't follow through on those words. After he told him to get up, that man, the Bible says, he got up, he picked up that bed, and he began to walk. I want to tell someone who's watching right now that the people around you are not the problem. The place where you live, the environment, that's not the problem. Maybe the city where you are, that is not the problem. Can I tell you what the problem is? The problem is your false expectation, expecting somebody to do for you what they can't even do for themselves. I want to tell you that the answer to that dilemma is not in a bottle. It's not in an addiction, whatever. It's not in your BFF. That answer to your problem is in Jesus. This man found it out. He found that solution when Jesus gave him those words. He gave him marching orders. And I want to tell someone who's watching right now, all it takes is a little bit of effort. And I guarantee you, you'll begin to see something happening in your life that nobody can explain it. No one will understand it but you, because it's between you and your God. When that man got up, I believe his faith rose up. When you get up out of that lazy boy, out of that chair of complacency, I believe your faith is going to rise up. I believe that someone who's watching right now, when you simply get up, your finances are going to get up. I believe that someone who's watching, when you get up, your dreams are going to wake up. I believe that someone who's watching right now, that when you get up, your haters are going to shut up. I believe that someone who's watching and listening right now, when you simply get up, God's going to make up all of that lost time where you were just waiting for somebody to do for you what God was waiting for you to do for yourself. Can't nobody make you get up. God is waiting for you to get up. I hope someone hears this message, and I pray that right now, something is waking up inside of you. That's the anointing of God on your life. And he's waking up those dreams. He's waking up that faith. He's waking up all of that untapped potential because God has something great for you to do. Statistics say that nearly 73% of African American men will drop out of school. Well, today I have some young brothers who are multifaceted, multi-talented, none other than Jasper and Jacoby Mitchell. Welcome, brothers.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. How's it going? Thanks for having us. Thanks for having us.
Sure.
Listen, I'm so glad to have you guys with me today. And I tell you, it's not so often that you get a chance to see some young men who not only play an instrument, but can sing, can write, and can graduate from high school early. And here we are in this place where people are in remote learning, and you guys get to be absolutely remote for the rest of the school year. So I commend you guys for what you have done so far.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so tell me, now, you all did something unconventional on this particular episode. Most of the guests that I've had on here have done gospel music. You all sang a secular song. You grew up in church, but what inspired you to do secular music? You all got to tell me about this.
Well, really, I guess it all really goes back to our dad. So growing up, our dad, he would give us these music quizzes when we're riding in the car, you know, beyond even gospel. His dad would be like, who is this on the radio? Who are you listening to? And it'd be Luther Vandross or Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, all these people. So we really have like an ingrained
kind of understanding of music, so many different facets of music. And really, our dad and, our mom are always saying God is love. And, if you're going to write a song, that's secular, make it about love or make it about something that God is, kindness, peace, friendship, something like that. So that's really the inspiration behind it. And, love is something that everyone knows, something that everyone goes through. So it's so important that, we can outline the feeling and, so we can understand it so that people like us can understand it. Really.
Yeah. That's powerful because, so many people grow up in households where they don't see love exhibited all the time, right? So you all grew up in a household where you had your mother and father, but there are some people who grew up in a household where they were abused. They never had someone to tell them that they were gifted, that they would be something great in life. You all are writing about something that a lot of people have not experienced. I want you all to tell me this. As young Black men growing up on the south side of Chicago, what challenges have you all faced as young men in this society, in this city, as young Black men? What were some of those challenges?
Well, we always like to say that when it comes to being Black and being Black in America, specifically Chicago, it's always about fear and pride. Like, we have so much pride for being Black, and it comes with so many good things and so many so you wouldn't change it for the world. Yeah. But the problem comes in when people want to change you. So I feel like when Black people in America and Black people in Chicago specifically just go through life, it's always they're always looking over their shoulder in a kind of way, just because we are Black and we are hated in this world, really. And you've seen it so many times where Black people are, lynched and cast out just for doing the right thing and doing what, trying to bring themselves up in society, So I feel like being Black in society has that main challenge. It's just like, we love being Black, but people don't love us being Black.
Wow.
So I feel like that's just one thing that every Black person can relate to. And with that comes so many challenges and being seen as a monolith, because every other race gets to have a chance to be seen as who they are. But you can only see skin color when you look at us. And we took that and we really changed that, and we changed the perception of us, we think. And it always goes back to the fear and pride aspect, because we're prideful of being Black, because, there's been so many times people have tried to make us not feel happy about being Black, but we're excited to be.
So you're just going to shut the whole thing down. So you say the challenge is when people try to change who you are. And I think that's what happens in society too often, where we want people to be a certain kind of way. So we want to put people in a box. And I tell you, Jasper and Jacoby, I'm sure some saints right now, they done took their wig off. They done just did some cartwheels. Like, these boys, they ain't singing no God, they ain't singing Jesus. What they doing? But you all are doing something positive. And I think that's something that we ought to commend. And who am I to say that I need to put you guys in a box? I often say it like this: greatness cannot be confined, right? Greatness, you can't keep greatness on lockdown. Jesus was so great that when they put him in the tomb, they came back looking for him. He was gone, because you can't keep greatness on lockdown.
Absolutely.
I'm so excited today because I have greatness on the stage with me. You guys just graduated from Kenwood High School on the south side of Chicago, Chicago Public Schools.
Yep.
Here in the midst of a pandemic, you guys graduated early. If there's one thing that you all would want to share with another young Black man, what would that one thing be? If it was going to be one thing that was going to just impact their life for the better, what would that one thing be?
If there was one thing, I would have to say, just to be you, because as Jacoby was saying, there are too many times where people confine us to one standard of Blackness and to one standard of who Black people and Black music should be.
Yeah.
But, there's so many different kinds of Blackness, and there's so many different kinds of Black men that we don't have to be, we don't have to be what they want us to be. We don't have to be, what sells. We don't have to be the exact person, you see on the big screen. We can be who we want to be. And we have that opportunity, and we have to start acting like we have that opportunity, because there's so many different facets. And, when you're Black,
You know, people don't want you to live out to every single part of yourself. You know, there's so much, like even just with music, there's like secular, gospel, all these different things, even rap. You know, we have, rap is such a part of the hip hop culture and mainstream culture today, especially. So when you see two black men like us, you assume rap or you assume maybe something else, but we don't have to live up to those assumptions.
Yeah.
Right? We can do whatever we want to do because we can, and it's our lives. So do what you love and have pride in it. Have pride in your blackness, have pride in your music, have pride in your art, have pride in whatever you do, because you're going to wake up to every day, and you have to live up to that standard of yourself.
Yeah.
So
I love it. I love that it responds. So, people are watching, and I know what they're saying to themselves right now. They look alike. Are they twins?
Kind of.
You say kind of. Yeah, something like that. But so tell me, as twins, growing up, there is no big brother, little brother. You all are experiencing life together. How has it been sharing that space together?
It's been horrible. Nah, I'm just playing. No, so it's very interesting that you'd even ask me that, because I'm actually in the midst of writing a personal statement for colleges about my twinship, honestly. So in that essay, I pretty much talked about how me and brother were always seen as two people, but like I'm seen as two people and he's also seen as two people, even being away from each other, if that makes sense.
Wow.
So we always talk about how we go into choirs and different bands and stuff like that. And then they'd always put us right next to each other. Like they'd always sit us right next to each other. And they'd be like, oh, don't miss the amazing spectacle, the singing twins, the Mitchell Bros. And I feel like with that, it always came like a, I don't want to say existential crisis, but like it was always just like the thought in my head that we'd always just be together. And if I didn't have a twin, what would I be here for, Yeah. So I feel like the one thing that I really took from my experience as a twin on these 17 years of Earth was pretty much just like,
y'all been here before.
But it was pretty much just like, I have to find my own individuality, really. And I always thought about individuality as like a journey. Yes. And there's going to be a goal or an ending like finish line. But I think individuality is just what you make it. It's just like, it's already in you. So you don't have to go look for it and you don't have to find it. There's not a journey really. It's just like being who you are and loving what you do. It doesn't matter if you have a twin or not. It's just who you are is who you are, no matter what. And my twin can be who I am, even though we dress alike, especially all today, and we look alike. So I feel like that's just one thing I took.
And that's powerful though. Even though you all are twins, biologically, you're twins, but you all still have your own fingerprint. You all still have this uniqueness about you. So even though you're twins, there's this uniqueness. And I think that's something powerful for those that are watching today to know that you can be you. If there's anything that I've got from this conversation today, is to be you. This show is called Unconventional, and we believe that our God is an unconventional God, which means that God can't be relegated to doing only what he did yesterday. He can do something totally different today. He did something different on this episode of Unconventional today.
Absolutely.
If you have been inspired by this and you're like, hey, I want to share my story, you can send in your story to info@beyondshy.org, 400 words or less. And if your story is indeed inspiring, we will share it with the whole wide world. Jasper and Jacoby, I thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. And listen, I'm looking forward to seeing what God does in your life next. You all got an EP coming out, right?
Yes, sir.
We're going to look out for that EP. We're going to look out for you all getting that 4-year degree.
Absolutely.
And then going on to that next degree and getting that money so you can come back.
Ain't no problem getting money.
Hey, I'm so proud of you guys, and I'm looking forward to seeing what God does next.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us. It really means the world. This is one of the experiences that we never forget, honestly. This is like, I think I said something to my brother, this is like the first day of the rest of our lives, because this whole environment is just insane to us. We really appreciate you having us on, and thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. In just 2 months, Beyond the Brick Ministries has reached over 2,000 families because of the contributions of unconventional givers. And with your support, we will continue to reach even more. We now have 3 ways where you can sow a seed into this ministry. It is our prayer that God blesses you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. In other words, we're believing God for an overflow of abundance in your life. Thank you so much for helping us reach beyond barriers to bring good news to those who need it most. Today's question comes from Marshall from Indiana. Marshall says, most of my life, I have witnessed my parents' issues with anger management. I am in college, but have found that the older I get, the less patience I have, and the quicker I snap off about the smallest things. How do I break this generational curse? Marshall, you pose a wonderful question, and I commend you for asking it. Oftentimes, people don't realize it, but when we meet someone in life, we're not just meeting them, but we're meeting who and what they have ever been exposed to in life. You are at a place where you're getting older, and as you get older, you begin to see things differently, and you still remember what you were exposed to. But what you were exposed to does not dictate your destiny. Right now, at this place where you are, where you're asking this question about breaking a generational curse, you have already taken the first step in breaking those chains of anger off of your life. One of the things that you state here is that you snap off about the smallest things. I remember my grandmother telling me that sometimes we can make a mountain out of molehills. Stop giving the devil that much power, because the devil really doesn't have power. He only has permission. And anytime you snap off over something that is minute, you are giving the devil credence and saying that you have power over my life. Marshall, God has given you power, and I want you to walk in that power. And I pray that you walk in that power of love so that you don't get upset about the smallest things. My friends, I hope that this episode has raised your expectations to another level. Certainly, I tell you that interview with Jasper and Jacoby has raised my expectations of Black men, because they are showing us that they are doing something unconventional in this world today. I pray that you continue to follow us here at Unconventional, because this is a season where God is doing something unusual. And we want you to continue to be blessed by what God is doing in this season. I'm your host, Alan B. Connolly. And until next time, be blessed. See you soon.